All right, and we're live. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. How
Happy
are you,
summer.
Angela?
Ooh. I'm good. I'm good. Today's been a long and busy day, but I'm looking forward to getting some reading in, getting some
Yeah.
pages under my belt. I'm excited for that. How about you?
I had a bit of a lazy day. I've already read a little bit, but mostly via audio because I had like a bit of a sore, like something in my eye situation. So I was like just reading audio, which is good too because like it's like reading the last book in a trilogy. So it's Mother of Death and Dawn, right? It's from Curious of Broadbent. So um, and I like the audio for those ones, so it's good. But tonight I felt I should continue in Tress of Sea because it is also a buddy read with some
Mhm.
friends online. So, and it's a totally, like unscripted moment where, some people were saying like, oh yeah, we're going to read this. And I'm like, oh yeah, why not? Like
I
it's in
guess
a
I'll
week or
hop
two.
in.
It's in a week or two. It's fine. And now we're in a week or two later, and like that was the time that we were saying. So I was like, yeah, I'll read it. And
And what do you
I'm
think so far?
so I think I'm 30% in, and one, I fully think this is a new author for me. Because the way it's written is really completely different, which is a good thing because, as much as I love Sanderson's like world and the magic system, I think it's really good. I think his writing is like mid for me and everything seems medium. I'm not like super engaged in the characters. I don't love them or anything like that. So in the end it means like a medium book for me. Um and compared to like the size of his books and number of books in his world and all those things, it's hi Maria. I
Hi,
know you're reading
Maria.
Tress with me and some other people. And also a
I
forbidden
haven't heard
alchemy.
of a
Yeah,
forbidden alchemy. Yeah, I haven't heard of that. So
I
maybe
have
maybe we'll have to add it to the list.
yeah.
I'm reading A Snake Falls to Earth, which is by Darcy Little Badger. This is the same author of Alatsue, which was really
Mhm.
popular a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So she's a Native American author, and I think that this book has ace representation in it, which is really
Huh.
fun. And I'm liking it so far. It's YA, and um, it's basically you're following two storylines. One is like a girl who lives with her family who has Native American heritage that she doesn't know very much about, that she wants to like
Uh-huh.
dig into her past a little bit. And then we're also following this snake person. So he's a
Ooh.
snake, but then sometimes he puts on his like they call it like their fake form or their other form, and
Oh.
he can like walk around as a person and like wear clothes and do things. And um he's in like the world of the animal
Mm,
people right now.
I
And
see.
the idea, I think the title "A Snake Falls to Earth" is I think they're going to end up
Mm,
their worlds clashing together.
I see.
So
I see.
yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Um,
So I was wondering because the author did mean something to me. Also, you mentioned the Ace Rep. I also have seen Elatsue in some of the Ace Rep books also. So I
yeah, Alatsue was really young, so I think she was
mhm,
only like um, I read that book a while ago. It's more middle grade.
mhm.
This one is slightly more YA.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Alatsue was definitely like I think there was Ace Rep, but when they're so young, I think it's easy to like dismiss
Sure.
it. I guess. This one, the girl right now is I think she's 16 in the story right now, and she I think. I remember earlier in the chapter I'm reading, she said like, "Oh, like I came out this past year as asexual," which I think is kind of cool for high schoolers to read about. So,
Yeah, it is.
and here's Maria. Feels very
Mm,
Sanderson to her, more in his plot focus and science magic system than the writing style, though. Yeah, I think that he definitely brought his world building vigor
yeah.
to Tress of the Emerald Sea for sure. Um, but I do think his like the writing itself is.
Yeah, I definitely meant more in the writing style, right? I do see like all the idea, with the spores and the different types of seeds and all those things. It's really cool. It's really like different, and I definitely see those things. I really meant in the writing style because he is more like a omniscient third point of view kind of thing usually. So um
Yeah.
and and I think also it's like this narrator that's like very tongue in cheek, but it's also not overdone in my opinion, at least for me, like the way it's done, because I've seen some of them that were like too much sometimes, although I do like this thing, so it has to be really, really too much for me to be too much. To be really obnoxious, but yeah, we're on the same page. Expected it to be even more whimsical for some reason. I mean I don't think too much so for me. I did expect it to be a bit more whimsical because I saw like also like the references to
How far
Princess
through are you? Where?
30-ish%.
Okay, so you guys are already on
Without
the journey. You're on the
spoilers,
boat.
Tress is on the boat. She decided to stay on the boat, essentially.
Has she met any friends on the boat yet?
I mean, it's not really a friend. She met the narrator, but he's weird. She just found out some information.
Okay. I,
Maria's like a little
I
bit
think it'll get a little
hard.
bit more whimsical. A little bit.
Mhm.
I think the whimsicalness for me wasn't even in like the maybe whimsical's the wrong word. I felt separated from the story a little bit more in Tress, kind of
Mm.
similarly to how some like whimsical fantasies feel, where like you're kind of high up and like looking at the story from a little bit far away. That's how I
Yeah,
personally felt while reading it, um,
sure.
which I think gives that sort of whimsical feeling, especially since it is kind of out there story wise.
Mm. That's interesting because I think the writing style for me makes me actually connect a little bit more to the story than with his other books that I've read before. Um, I think it's mostly the humor because I don't know why, but like humor in all of its different forms with like a humorous character or narrator or something, it usually works for me somehow. It's just
Anderson's humor does not always work for me. It
Mhm.
works for me certainly and Maria gets this is exactly what I'm saying. Yes, Maria. But his humor works for me in his middle grade stuff. Like if you've read Alcatraz versus the Evil Librarians, that humor I find to be very funny. It's very meta. Highly recommend giving Alcatraz a shot if you haven't already. But the I don't know. I just don't find his books very funny usually. And when
Mhm.
there is a funny character, like in Mistborn Era 2, there's a character who's supposed to be very funny, and I don't always find him very funny. Um, but that's just
Yeah.
me. Maria
Yeah,
likes it a
also
lot.
yeah, also Maria has more issues sometimes than me, I would say, with humor in books also. So, but I think it's common and I think it's just me also.
That's okay. On that note, shall we sprint?
Yeah, we shall. We shall.
All right. Maria, do you have a cat color request for today? If you think
Or
of anything,
time.
let me know. Yeah, or a length of time request, I suppose. But cat color is really what we need, right?
Should we let it up to like the rolls, the dice, or like a wheel or something to decide like the time that we do?
Mm. To decide at the time,
Yeah.
we could. You could roll a d6 and multiply by 10.
I okay.
I can roll a
Uh,
d6 and multiply by 10 if you would like. I have
I mean,
my dice.
I have a digital one, but if you have a real one, yeah, sure. Go
I
ahead.
do have a real one. Maria says the lilac one. Is this the one you meant? I've got like a bluer one and a slightly pinker one. So if you have a strong preference, let me know. But I have a D6. I shall roll in my dice tray. I got a 2. The bluer one. All right, bluer one it is. Thank you, Maria, for being decisive. We appreciate it. Okay, this is going to be shorter than we normally ever do, but we rolled low, so this is what
I
happens.
mean,
This is the life.
I agreed because Tress's chapters are really small, so I don't mind, you know. They're short, so it's fine. 20 minutes is like, I don't know, 1 or 2 chapters, so it's okay.
Perfect. I'm going to go ahead and click start. Everyone go ahead and read. I shall disappear, and I will see you guys in 20 minutes.
Welcome back. Angela, I think you're muted.
Yep. Hi.
That's fine.
It was so fast.
Yeah, I know. I realized I didn't even ask you if 20 minutes was okay for you to get some dinner. Because, like,
I made a wrap and I grabbed some yogurt and I'll finish eating it during our next sprint. I only actually read for half the time because I went down to get dinner and I talked to my roommate for a few minutes and she asked me what book I was reading and I was like, oh, there's a snake person and it was hard to describe.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm enjoying it. It's a good time.
That's good. That's good.
How
I
did your
did
book
read
go?
3%. I did read 3%, and I was more than 30%. I was like 37%, so now I'm 40%. So I read like 2.5 chapters or something for Tress because they're very short, right? It's
Nice.
it's fun. I mean, there's always something going on. He's always also finishing like a chapter with like a sentence or something, making like one more chapter, just one more, right? So, you know. Um, and Maria said she read 5 pages, got disturbed by Discord. Hey, you still read 5 pages, right? Still good.
Sounds about right. Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah. And I don't think I said that in the chat, or maybe even to you, Angela, but I'm good to just run the sprints until I I start to fall asleep or whatever. I don't mind, staying up late. Because like I'm enjoying the
Sounds
book and I
good.
just want more progress. I was also wondering
Yeah.
if we could pull out one of the book recommendations, one of the last stars that I have for you from you.
Yes, of course you should. Tis always entertaining. So, for context, way back a long time ago, we wrote books from each other's TBRs that we wanted the person to read. So, like, I wrote books from Clementine's TBR that I thought she should read, and she wrote books from my TBR that she thought I should read, and then we folded them up, and they're teeny tiny. So it's kind of like a random reading challenge from the other person.
Yes.
And Clementine's going to pull one because she recently finished a novel love story, which was the last one that she had from me.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I think I should pull one of the darker blue ones because I have a few of those. So I'll pull this one.
Okay, nice.
Hi, Michelle.
And Michelle, you're here. Hello.
I forgot how to remove it effectively. If I don't do it for a while, I forget.
That's okay.
There it is. There it is. I see it. I see the end. What are you reading, Michelle? Let us know.
Yes.
Oh, this is one I was expecting to pop up at some point. If I would say like one author that defines you is Tamora Pierce. So I got a lot of a first adventure.
It must have been this must have been an Angela pick one.
Yes.
And this is one that I recommend, but like lightly, because her writing style changed a lot from the time she started writing until like her most recently published book. So this is like the first one she ever published. I would say the pacing is interesting. Like the time goes by really quickly. But I don't know, if you ever want a chance of like really reading all of her work in like the way that we experienced it as it was published, this is where you have to start because it's the beginning.
Got it.
But also I'm keeping my expectations low. I'm trying not to get my hopes up.
That's okay. You'll like it. It's not, it's, I do want to try it. And I mean, obviously it's feels normal also that the writing of the other changes in like decades, especially also because,
where I started with this world was First Test, which is her third series in the world. So
Mm-hmm.
I got to see like Alana and some of the other characters.
Mm-hmm.
But you get a little bit of spoilers if you do it that way.
Yeah.
Maria, I
Yeah.
love Tamora Pierce so much. I love her so much.
I know.
I
I know
cannot
you do.
describe to you.
And Maria,
But
so I think we did not maybe acknowledge Michelle. She's reading Every Heart a Doorway,
mhm,
which is the first in a novella series by Shannon Maguire.
the Wayward
Not
Children.
very good, but they do odd things with dead bodies, so that's good. Okay, I have a similar overall reaction, not very good to that book that I read. It's this book, but reversed. For me, it's like the odd things that they do with dead bodies that made it gross for me. Marie also said too much Igor in that one. I do agree, the Igor, I don't like it, but since I don't picture anything, I just passed it very quickly and it was fine. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
I
So
agree
the
with that.
the thing with that series is that it I love it. I love it lots, but it's definitely not like the first one is like a strange murder mystery. And then the second
Mhm.
one is very dark. Actually, Michelle, I think you might kind of enjoy the second book. It's like a dark
Mm,
fairy tale. And then the third one is back at the school and vibes are very different. And
mhm.
then the fourth one is like completely back in time following a different
Well,
character and is actually one I think Clementine might like. So it really bounces around
the way I heard it is that the odd books are back at the school and the even books are in the different worlds.
generally.
So that it makes sense that the even worlds have very different vibes for sure because like the worlds they go in and everything different. I think for if people, I mean it's just Michelle, Marie and us, so we know about the series, but if some people watch later on that they don't know, right? The series is just like you have those kids that go to portal parallel kind of worlds through portals, and they're all different and they all kind of speak to them, and that's why they go to these special worlds. um and Michelle is happy that the second one is dark.
Yeah, Michelle, book two follows Jack and Jill, who go to like a vampire world.
Mm,
Um, and it follows their story before they get to the school. So I do
mhm,
think you might like that one, just
mhm,
because it is spooky.
mhm, mhm.
And they're quick, they're fast, they're short. So no reason not to. And an
Yeah.
absent dream takes place at the Goblin Market, and um it's that one was hard to read. I think I cried during that one.
Okay.
Yes, Michelle. It's in like a horror world. So I hope you like it. Um, yeah.
So I did place a hold on Alana. I could have gotten the audio directly, but I do want to give it a fair shot, and I'm wondering if the audio
I
is
don't
like
think
a
the
little.
audio is
Yeah.
particularly good. Yeah.
Yeah, so I do want to, take more of the ebook physical route of reading because I want to give it a fair shot, for sure.
Yeah. Now that makes me want to go read the Turtle universe again. Oh, I just did an Alana reread like a couple months ago. But
Without without
maybe I'll just
yeah, without asking you too much, but like, did you what did you pick last for one of my book recommendations?
I
Because
picked
it
the
feels
Weird
like,
Sisters.
yeah.
It's been written by Terry Pratchett, the Discworld, and the reason why I haven't picked another one is because I'm in this like ambiguous space where like I soft DNF'd it, and I Maria, I just don't want you to get your hopes up because I don't want you to be disappointed. I I just they're but they're so good. Anyway, with the Discworld, I soft DNF'd the Weird Sisters, and I know I want
I
to read it eventually. So I
uh-huh.
haven't picked another one because I'm like, oh, if I like, I need to read the Weird Sisters first, but then I haven't been reading it. So
Okay,
I don't know.
I am allowing you to have a pass for this because, like, I never meant. Also, like, I think I fully put just this world. I just wanted you. It was one of those series once, and I wanted you to just see, oh, I'm making progress or something in the world, and that's fine if you do, and then you DNF. So you are allowed to pick another
Yeah.
star if you want.
Okay. I have my stars. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 7 stars left. I'm gonna pick a light purple star. This is my star. Ta-da! Okay. Let's see. I think I just need to physically read the Terry Pratchett books, and I don't have enough motivation. Oh, I'm ripping it. Okay. It is going to be ripped. Tis fine. I found it. Okay. Oh no, I ripped where the words are. Disaster.
I should be able to figure it out with half of it and tell you. Because I still have the list
Oh, this
on my
is
phone.
funny. This is hilarious. Do you want
Is
to,
it
Clementine?
is
I'm
it
gonna give you a moment. Do you want to
mm-hmm.
guess?
I
Go
think
ahead.
I know with your smile, but let's
It's
let's
very
have the
funny.
people.
So I got The Circle Reforged by Tamora Pierce, which is um there's exactly one Tamora Pierce novel I've never read. And it's at the end of this series called The Circle Reforged, which is in a different world, not the Tortal world. And I have been slowly working my way through rereading the books in that other world. So for this prompt, I actually would pick up Shatterglass, which is the next one in the Circle Opens series, and it was never made. I know, Maria. What are the chances? Wild. But I would pick up Shatterglass. Shatterglass was never made into an audiobook. There are actually only 2 of Tamora Pierce's books that I found so far that have never been made into audio. One is Cold Fire, which I just finished, and the other one is Shatterglass, which I have sitting downstairs, but I need to read. So if I magically finish A Snake Falls to Earth today, I will go pick up Shatterglass and give it a whirl. But exciting.
And
That's
yeah, I
really,
agree
really
with
funny.
Maria. What
Well,
are the chances? Also, I didn't say anything, but I wanted you to pick up the star because it made me think of the book that I put that book exactly, and it's really funny that you actually picked it.
that is very entertaining. I am entertained. We've done it. An ocean can't keep our reading tastes apart.
No.
Our reading will still be connected forever. On that note, should I roll again for a time frame,
Yeah,
or
we
do you
should.
want to volunteer?
We
Okay.
should.
All
I
right. I'm
still
going to roll
don't
a
have
d6
a.
and then we'll multiply by 10. This time I got 3. So 30 minutes. Alrighty. Let's set the time. Share the screen. My face is going to disappear again so that I can eat my food without worrying about what I look like as I eat my food. And yes, we will see you guys in 30 minutes. Have fun. Happy reading. Hello.
Welcome back, everyone. I read 5%, so pretty good. What about you?
Very good. I forgot to check
Atlas.
what percentage I was at. Oh, well, Atlas is upset because it is raining. And there was some thunder, and so we are throwing a fit. We are panting, we are shaking, we have a sweater on. I made a little cozy nest, and he doesn't want to sit in it. So we're just doing our best. I'm at 44%. I don't know where I started at this sprint, but now I'm at 44%, and I should remember for next time. So, we're working on it, and I'm still having fun. So, all good things.
Well, me too. And I'm like 45%, so we're pretty much the same. Maria read a little more of Forbidden Alchemy. And she's also saying
Nice.
poor Atlas. We're all saying poor Atlas. Michelle read almost 30 pages. Wow, that's a lot.
Good
That's
job,
good
Michelle.
progress. Especially with such a small book. You'll be done in no time. And Poe wants you to make it stop for him. Yeah. The pets.
Yeah, the storm just got really bad. I almost felt loud enough that you guys might have been able to hear it, though I don't think you can with the background noise cancellation. But we just had some pretty intense thunder come through. So,
got it. Okay. Hopefully it's done for a night.
I think this is how it's going to be for the rest of the night, unfortunately. Because even if the rain stops, Atlas will stay in this ness for a while.
Got it.
Not good, not good. Well, Clementine, how are you liking Tress? Are you still enjoying it?
Yeah, I'm still enjoying it. I think the narrator like this really works for me because he's also very much a part of the story. So it's not like, because I remember reading there was this I think it was a sort of historical romance with some fays and fairies and everything that was from Alexis Hall, and there was this like narrator who was like a fae watching the whole thing, right? But they were essentially just watching the stuff and then putting random like obnoxious comments, and it was one too many comments that didn't have any relation to the story itself sometimes. And I was like, why are we adding this? Like, could we add this narrator in like a way that he would be actually part of the story or something? So I feel like in this way it's done better for me. So it works. And I am at the point where we're learning more. I mean, Tress is learning more about like the spores and all those things, so without spoiling. He is walking around. He's not like on your lap.
He has decided that he must perch upon
Yes.
the back of the the chair. So we'll see how long he hangs out up there. He's just so stressed. I wish that there was something magical I could do to chill him out. Unfortunately not. Yeah, I love a good integrated narrator who actually has a reason to be there. It reminds me of did you read The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter, right?
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, by Theodora Goss. That one has a bunch of different narrators who pop in with interesting comments and fun side things.
Yeah, and
Which
also
is
even in that
yeah.
one, you even have like the book written even is supposedly the book that they actually write, right? So that's why it has the comments and everything. So all of it is like a book inside a book, and it's fun, it's like yeah,
It's
it's always
funny.
sad to see them rest.
I'm worried that you're gonna fall behind the chair.
The rain, it's wet. I can hear it. I'm assuming
Well,
it's like
Michelle lives
Poe.
close to me, so Michelle can hear the same rain that I can hear.
Yeah, but also it could be also Poe or Atlas's narrative in their minds too, what she's doing. I think
That's
that would
true.
work too. Aww. The window is too wet, so your cat decided
Too
to lie
much.
next to you. Yeah,
Totally fair.
that makes sense. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
So, Clementine, I've been meaning to ask you, and I should
Yeah.
ask, have you heard of the reading challenge going around? I feel like it's pretty popular, so you probably have. The hardest reading challenge you've ever done. Have you seen it?
The Herkiad? Yes.
Yeah.
I've
Yep.
seen it.
So I've been working my way through. And
Uh-huh.
the reason I'm reading A Snake Falls to Earth is for one of the challenges. And so
Mm.
I'm excited to continue making progress.
Yeah, I saw like it was like another YouTuber was like, why am I like interested in doing this? I heard about this and I was like, yes, why does my brain wants this? And then so I was like, what is Herkiad? So then I went to the announcement, from the creator, and I was like, this creator is like so entertaining and so fun, and like the way that she presents the whole thing and everything, and it was so much fun. But I was like, that is so much reading, and it's way too much for me. I acknowledge I already have trouble, finishing the Art Fantasy challenge. It's already a challenge for me. So Arcade, I'm like, no, no. And I think for me, my challenge this year, my main challenge is up, like having a lot less of a physical TBR. So I feel like, it would be counterproductive to doing her kid, because it would require me reading a lot of books I don't own. Right. But
Yeah. So
I totally support
the
you in
it's
that.
kind of a
So,
perfect yeah, it's kind of the perfect challenge for me right now because I was like really looking for anything, any sort of guidance. I think the prompts
mm.
are really, it actually pulled me out of a reading slump. So, like, thank you to the creator because I have read so much over the past like 2 weeks. I started it a little bit early. I just didn't want to wait because I was like feeling
Mm.
inspired. So I started
Yeah.
my and she said you could do that as long as you ended also a little bit early. But yeah, I picked it up and I started and I'm, going and it's very fun. What I do is I use a random number generator to tell me which prompt to work on.
Mm.
And then I look at the empty spaces of the
Mm-hmm.
prompts and like try to fulfill it. So
Yeah.
what it has
Yeah.
led to me doing a little bit is like starting some series that I wasn't planning to start yet. So that's been like one potential drawback, but I've been reading a ton and really enjoying what I'm reading. So huzzah.
That's great. That's great. I think, it's certainly good when you have something like that. And I think I have in some way for me too. It's just like a romantasy kind of summer challenge. It's just like, 10 prompts that you're supposed to fill with some romantasy books. And I think this one is like interesting to me because like the like discords I'm in, they're reading a ton of romantasy, and I've been like, I need to read more. And then I realized also in the list, to make me less, guilty about picking those like new releases that I don't own, I also have like at least half of them with books that I do own. So I'm like, I'm still fulfilling, my challenge to like reduce my physical TBR, but I'm also picking some books, that I want to. So I think, um,
I feel like a little
that's
bit of a hipster. I was reading a lot of romantasy before it had the name romantasy. And now that
yeah.
like everyone's reading romantasy, I'm like, no, I don't want to do it anymore.
Well,
So not on purpose. I just like they haven't been grabbing me.
I think in some way though the hype is real, and it gets to me in a way, right? First when I hear about this book like from this one person, oh, it's great. But if I hear like too many, I'm like, I think I'm putting too many expectations, and then I don't want to read them anymore, and then I get into like waiting a long time for them. And I want to get better at some of these things and be like, I want to pick it. I want to pick it up. I pick it up. And if some of them will not be completely wins, then that's fine, if I want to. But also I'm fine also waiting a long time for some of his books and the hype to die down also to read. um Because also usually that means
Yeah.
that more books in the series are out, which is better because, you know, if there's a book you love, like, I mean, there's a few that I started and was only one book out, and now I have to wait at least a year for the next one, and I'm like, why? But why? You know?
I am way more likely to wait until a series is finished to start something now than
Mhm.
I was, before. I'm I think it's like the rereading that gets me. I read so much that I don't want to really
Mm.
have to reread the first book in a series when the next book comes out. So
Yeah.
it's much easier to just say, when the final book comes out, I'll blitz through them all. Um,
I think I'm pretty good at remembering things, except the names, right? So if, you know, like a book is pretty good in a sequel at like kind of reminding me without being like too obvious about like the names and the people and what they are and who they are, right? Then it's usually fine. Um,
mhm.
because like if I really like the book, then I'm usually fine with not rereading unless it's been like 5 years, but otherwise it's fine. Um, the I think the and if I really don't remember anything, I'm like, yeah, that's a sign that I really didn't, you know, enjoy my time because it didn't stick at all, right? And then I stopped reading. And
I think it's
Maria's
often more
saying,
of a preference than necessity. But
huzzah for your love of
huzzah!
reading. Yeah,
I am
okay.
a nerd. I wear this label with
We're
pride.
all we're all nerds. I've been like watching some Stranger Things and they were saying like that they were nerds and you know calling themselves nerds when it was, you know, in the 80s not cool to be a nerd, and it's definitely cool now. Definitely the
It
downside
is
of new
very cool.
release hype. But sometimes the temptation is to
Shall we?
actually yeah. Yes, we
Yeah.
shall.
Shall we roll for a sprint? Okay.
We
Those of
shall.
us who are just joining, we've been rolling a d6, so just like a regular die, to see how long we're reading for. So we multiply the value by 10. So the shortest we could get is 10 minutes. The longest we could get is an hour. Usually it's somewhere in the middle. We got a 4. So 40 minutes
Okay.
is what we'll set our next sprint to. Hopefully by the time 40 minutes rolls around, the thunderstorm will have maybe passed,
Mm-hmm.
question mark. But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Also, we've been slowly increasing. We did 20 minutes, 30 minutes, now 40 minutes. Are we gonna continue increasing?
Who knows? Would be
Who
great.
knows?
Um, Alrighty. Our little kitty timer is on the screen. Everyone have fun reading. We will see you back here in 40 minutes. Good luck. I just want to acknowledge that I forgot to hit start on the timer. So it's started now. Apologies. Love you all. Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back.
I'm back. Just a heads up, my internet has cut out twice in like the last 30 seconds where it was like going, I was seeing black circles. So the storm is affecting the internet reliability. But yeah, how did we go? How did we read?
I read 7%. I'm at like 52% now, so good progress. Good progress.
Nice.
How about you?
Yeah, my book is pretty quick. I read another 12%, so I'm at 56% now. And yeah, I'm having fun. It feels like we're definitely like on the main course of like I see where the story is starting to go. So that's really cool. And I'm sure that looking at Atlas is stressful for some other folks too. But Atlas is still stressing out because of the storm. Michelle watched Jeopardy and finished a book. Nice. Yay, that we finished our book. Success. I still need us to get like a confetti animation that happens when we celebrate someone finishing.
And I think we lost Angela a little bit. So Maria worked and read nothing. Yes, you're back.
And I'm back. Weird. Right, I'm back. Oh, goodness gracious. Anyone else who's listening, tell us if you read anything and what you read. What was that, Clementine?
I was just saying that so far it could be worse. If it is just like a burst of a few seconds, I guess we can wait until you're back. But you know,
yeah,
I understand. It's
hopefully
bad. Yeah, I just reached a point in the book where there's like a big like shift and big, spoilery stuff, of course, but it was really fun in the plot and the way it's done. So I really enjoyed that. And I'm excited to see this new part of the world that they're headed to now and to learn about it. So yeah.
Yeah. It feels sad because it feels like we're getting a ton of Atlas content because he's like right here in the center of everything. And usually Atlas content is just the cutest. But today it's just the most stressful.
No. So I feel like I have to ask because I don't want to say that we didn't acknowledge Michelle and we're just stuck with Angela also and our internet who's stuck. Yeah.
Yeah, the storm killing
you're
me.
Back. You're back for me. So metal, yellow, first, red.
She was trying to put an emoji. I think she put an emoji that YouTube doesn't have.
Okay.
And Maria gave a more appropriate celebration emoji. Yes. Success.
I mean, with the text in there, I was like, it's probably congratulations and stuff, but it was kind of strange.
Yeah. Yeah, no worries. So Clementine, do you have any books that you're like really excited to read this month? Maybe new releases, maybe things that are just like on your TBR that you're excited about? And anyone listening, give us some books too. I'm looking for new things to add to my TBR.
Well, I mean, I know there's one it's not going to be interesting to you because you DNF'd, I think, the first one. Okay. It's the third Emily Wilde. So I've had it since nearly it came out, right? And I haven't, read it, but I really, really want to read it. And don't know, because also it's the last in the series, at least should be. And then there's, I'm not sure I will have the time to read it this month, but for sure I want to read it next month if I can't read it this month. It's this new release, the Wind Weaver. I have it actually just underneath you, so by Julie Johnson. It's a relatively new release. I think it's like a month or two, only a month. right, Maria? It's her new favorite book of the year, right? And it's like on everybody's list right now. I think it's quite big, and I'm quite interested to read it, but we'll see. Um, I mean, there's a few others like what else? Oh, the Django Wexler also. Angela is stuck again, but that's the Everybody Wants to Rule the World Except Me, which is like the sequel to
Hmm.
the How to Become the Dark Lord and Die Trying.
The
Those
garden
titles,
entering.
yeah.
Gotta love a good long title, huh?
Yeah, I know. And I have it from the library, and that one I think I have it due in like 10 days, so I will start it after. And
Yeah.
Michelle, my
July is
pirate book.
always a really good month for new releases.
My pirate
Michelle,
book
you're
better
allowed to
be
keep your
good.
pirate prize. For
Yeah.
context, we run a like a themed sci-fi
Mhm.
fantasy readathon. It's not really a readathon; it's a book club, but we do one themed book each month. And so this
Yes.
month's book is pirates, or this month's theme is pirates. So we're all reading pirate books.
Yes.
And Michelle is keeping her
Yes.
book
Yes.
a surprise.
Well, I
Yes.
mean, my book. I mean, I have Tress obviously that I could put for that, but I'm hoping to read another
That would
book.
count.
Yeah, I think I would
I'm
count
working
it,
on
but I'm
Amina El
hoping to.
Sarafi.
Mm-hmm.
And this is my list of new releases that I'm excited about for July. It's very
Ooh.
long. It's a long list of new releases. So I won't share all of them, but I
Oh,
am. July is going to be a
yeah.
great month.
Yeah, there's one for me for July, but technically I count it as August because it's end of July. And like with the wait list that I have already, on like the audiobook on hold, but like there are so many, like so many people before me, I won't get it before August realistically. And even if I get it in August, I
Okay.
will be happy. But that's the
Do you want to
third
tell us
book.
what it is?
Yes, I will. So it's the last in the trilogy. So the first one was the Foxglove King, right, by Hannah Witten. So it's
Gotcha.
one of those, like, I would say it's a fantasy romance because I don't think the romance is like the crux of it. Although I would say nowadays they probably call it a romantasy, right? But I would say the romance is less present, although more present than in a fantasy with a small, it's still like an important part still, but not as important. And I think it's interesting because the world has this like necromancy, but like magic. So I think it's an interesting setting, and it had some interesting developments. Although the second book did fall into a bit of a middle book syndrome, I would say a little bit. Um, but like with the end of the second book, really have like this like although I don't remember everything that I read from last year, but like the second book when I started was, it was good enough for me to like, remember what happened with the first. So I'm hoping the same thing happens and I will try and read the third as soon as I have it. So,
Yeah,
and
I couldn't get through for the wolf, and I was really excited about it. So I
mm,
think I kind of have been.
yeah, we're losing Angela, but I think I understand what she wanted to say.
I disappeared
Okay,
again.
you're
I'm
back.
I'm back.
No, it's okay. I think I understand what
Tis
you
a
meant.
disaster.
That because I also did DNF for the wolf, right? So I do want to mention that, and I do think that other series is, I mean, it is adult for once. For the wolf felt like young adult. I don't know if it is young adult, but it felt young adult to me. Um, and I think really it's like the world was really fun for me to follow. And like the main character is chaotic, but she's not stupid also. But also it was fun,
That's good. Yep.
Um,
Oh, this should be. I think you're excited about this one. The Undercutting of Rosie and Adam is coming out this month,
yes,
Clementine.
yes, that's the other one that I also have on hold, but I also don't expect it to get it in July. But for sure, those two, as soon as they are from the library and I get them, I don't care what I'm reading, I will still request this from the library and I will finish and then I will read those because I'm super excited.
Yeah. We get a new Ashley Poston this month. We get a new Nalini Singh this month. We get a new Jennifer Lynn Barnes this month. Ah, glorious. But before the storm cuts me out again, shall we sprint, or has it been too fast?
No, we shall.
Okay, we shall. Alrighty. Here's the die. Okay. You can guess what that. Mm-mm. You got a 6.
Oh,
We got a
okay.
6. That's a full hour of reading. Hopefully, not too bad for us. Stay hydrated and take breaks if you need to. But
Yep.
60 minutes on the clock.
I definitely will need to get some more water because I drank it all.
Yeah. Maria, I love Nalini's things, specifically her paranormal stuff. I don't love her contemporary stuff, and I haven't tried her like mystery thrillers. But her paranormal stuff is great. But also, the beginning of the series is a little bit dated. I wish that I could just like shove you in like 10 books in and be like, start here. But anyway, we'll need to have just a Nalini Singh should you read session eventually.
Yeah, that's another one I wanted to try too. But also I think the length, like the number of books in the series is like really? You know.
Yeah, yeah. Alrighty, let's go ahead and sprint. And if when we come back, we want to chat about our very lengthy paranormal romance series, we certainly can. All right. Good luck, all. Hello, hello.
Welcome back. I kind of dozed off a little bit in the
I
middle
felt like
of
I
the
was gonna,
sprint.
yeah.
So I didn't read as much, like obviously it's a 60-minute sprint, so I did still do 9%, but like I could have read more, but I was like dozing off a little bit, so
No,
I
an hour is definitely very long. I hit 75% on my book, which is very good. About an hour
that's
and
very
20
good.
minutes more of reading, and I will finish. So I'm
Ooh.
like, feels like it's within my grasp. It's so
Mm-hmm.
close, and yet so far. um, yeah, it's a very sweet story. I'm enjoying it. Um, yeah.
That's
Maria
good.
finished work. Success. Let us know if you're listening how much reading you got done or how much of anything else you got
Yeah.
done. Atlas has decided to crawl under my reading chair, so he's hanging out down there now, which is
Mm-hmm.
great. I appreciate. Um,
I don't know if
yeah,
it's progress, but
I would almost rather him hide than like be up here like freaking out.
yeah,
As long as he
true.
feels safe. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. That
Well,
makes sense.
do you feel like you've got more time in you, Clementine, or do you feel like this
I
is
feel like
this is
next sprint, unless it's like a 20-minute one, but even then, I will doze off, but I will not wake up again. I'm very afraid of that. So I fear this might have been our last sprint. It is currently 2:54 a.m. for me, so certainly
totally fair? Totally
going to
fair.
sleep.
This should be exciting for you, though.
Ooh! Oh my gosh! It is exciting. So Owen Colfer is one of my favorite authors for sure. And I think High Fire is criminally underrated, to be honest. I think it came out in like 2020 or so. So it was COVID, there was a bunch of stuff and everything. But it was like in stores there, like I feel like in the new release section in my Barnes and Noble for like a year, and nobody seemed to pick it up at all, right? Um, but I think also like the cover doesn't seem like really special, maybe also for such a book. So I don't know if, there's also a little bit of that. Also because like Owen Colfer is known but like as a middle grade author, and so when he wrote this like adult novel, it was like eh. I would argue it's an adult book. It's an adult book with a middle grade feeling still, because you do still have like a preteen also in the book in there. Um, so how do you like it, Michelle?
I think Michelle's
I
reading it on your recommendation, so hopefully she's liking it.
Yeah. Artemis Fowl didn't seem popular either. Well,
I
I mean it
disagree with this, Michelle. I
yeah.
disagree.
Also like in Europe, I know that it's been very popular both in France and like in all the and at least the English speaking countries for sure, and even France that was translated. When I was a kid, right? Well, I was a teenager, it got translated. That's how I started reading them, when I was still a teen. And I loved them so much, and I think it was popular. It's just, I mean, because like otherwise they would never have tried to do an adaptation. Granted, it is the worst adaptation I've ever seen, but like,
Yeah. Yeah. So Artemis Fowl was very popular when I was in school. Like so popular
mhm.
that like all of my friends had read them. Like I read them too. So yeah. Yeah. So, but I do agree that I've heard nothing about his adult release. So I think that you're entirely right that everyone just thinks of him as a middle grade author. Michelle says the
Yeah.
book is good so far, and that her keyboard is messed up. I'm sorry that you're dealing with some tech issues, Michelle.
Yeah.
That
Okay, sure.
does sound frustrating.
Yeah, I agree also, like, it could be that I was an adult when they came out. I think contrary to some other middle grade books, it was really like every kid when I was like in school, they knew about it when I was reading them, but it's like the parents probably not as much. Um, or they would
It
not like,
wasn't like Harry Potter or Percy
yeah,
Jackson where it was like breaking the ceiling. Yeah.
exactly. To the point that, the adults also started reading them or something like this. So, um, and it did have its popularity, but also like I think Artemis Fowl, like the last like couple ones, a lot of people started to say like, yeah, it was not as good, and there were like a couple things in there that they didn't like too much. So I think it got like a little bit down. Um,
It definitely didn't have quite as much staying power or like
yeah, yeah.
yeah, like as much retention
Well,
as
I
some of
mean,
the
I
other
I
series that
was discussing at some point with a friend about like series, like be it like books or TV shows and whatever. And I think there's always like too much of a good thing, right? If you start to have like too many seasons, for example, for a TV show, it's likely that at some point, like whenever, like the writers have this like first arc and they finished it and then they try like a new one, you're like, it's a remake. It sounds like the same because of course it's a series, so it has to have the same kind of feeling, but like, so
sure.
yeah. Well, I mean, I agree with the 15 books is never as good as like the best in the series, but I don't agree with as good as the first because in some
Sometimes
series,
the first book of a series is yeah.
you do. I know Maria usually doesn't, and I'm probably in the middle. I do like a good like setup, like character kind of, like setting up, like a superhero movie, for example. The first book is like establishing how he gets his powers and all the things and how he hears about the world. I love those kinds of books, but in other books and settings, I actually prefer the second book onwards,
Right,
right?
right. That's what I was trying to say. Some of the series, especially, I see this even more in adult. Sometimes, especially with long running series, they
Yeah.
don't age very well. So even if you would like the more like current day iterations of the story that are like currently coming out, going backwards or like encouraging someone to start with the first book of a series is sometimes really challenging just because of
Yeah.
how old it is.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Well, I
Anywho,
can tell that you're feeling tired, Clementine. Do we want to wrap it up?
we should. I'm sorry for everyone that I'm like bailing.
No, that's
I
okay.
mean,
I
hey,
am
I
sure that
did
there are
say,
manuscripts happening at other places.
yeah, I did say I would continue sprinting until I was falling asleep, and that was the case. So, I did
Yeah,
what I said.
so success. Well, count it as a win. Well, thank you for reading with us. It's always a
Yes,
joy. And
thank you
hopefully
so
we
much.
will be able to see you guys again soon.
Bye.